Following is a tentative platform for the Anti-Zionist America Party, subject to revision per comments, crowdsourcing, and rethinking. Comment below. Anti-Zionist America Party Platform. Preamble. The Anti-Zionist America Party is founded on the principle that the United States must prioritize the interests, security, and sovereignty of its own citizens above all else. We reject the undue influence of foreign entities, particularly Zionist ideologies and lobbies, which have entangled America in endless wars, eroded civil liberties, and diverted resources from domestic priorities. Our platform calls for a complete overhaul of U.S. foreign and domestic policies to foster peace, independence, and freedom. We stand against imperialism, censorship, surveillance, monetary corruption, and the unchecked power of elites. America First means ending foreign entanglements, protecting individual rights, and reclaiming our nation from internal and external subversion. Core principles: sovereignty and non-interventionism. The U.S. must cease all involvement in foreign conflicts and prioritize diplomacy over military action. Anti-Zionism. We oppose Zionism as a foreign ideology that has infiltrated American institutions, promoting policies that serve Israeli interests at the expense of American lives and taxpayer dollars. Civil liberties. Unwavering commitment to the First Amendment. Rejecting all forms of censorship, surveillance, mandatory medical interventions, and suppression of dissent. Economic independence. End the Federal Reserve System and restore sound money to prevent inflation and elite control over the economy. Transparency and accountability. Root out corruption by removing individuals and priorities influenced by foreign lobbies from government positions, while pursuing justice against elite criminal networks. Foreign policy. End all funding for foreign wars. Immediately defund and withdraw from all overseas military operations, including those in the Middle East, Ukraine, and elsewhere. No U.S. taxpayer dollars shall support proxy wars or regime change efforts. We advocate for a non-interventionist stance, focusing on defense within our borders. Cut all aid to Israel. Terminate all financial, military, and diplomatic aid to Israel, including the annual billions in grants, loans, and weapons. This includes repealing laws like the Foreign Aid Act provisions that favor Israel and imposing sanctions on any U.S. entities lobbying for such aid. Neutrality in Middle East conflicts. The U.S. will adopt a policy of strict neutrality in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, recognizing Palestinian rights to self-determination and condemning any actions that violate international law. We support diplomatic efforts led by neutral parties not influenced by Zionist agendas. Global peace initiatives promote multilateral disarmament talks. Reduce the U.S. nuclear arsenal and exit NATO altogether. We will prioritize trade and cultural exchanges over military alliances. Domestic policy. Remove Zionist influence from government. Conduct thorough audits and investigations to identify and remove individuals with dual loyalties or ties to Zionist organizations from key positions in the executive, legislative, and judicial branches. This includes banning lobbying by groups like AIPAC and requiring full disclosure of foreign affiliations for all public officials. Anti-war reforms. Dismantle the military-industrial complex by cutting the defense budget by at least 50%. Redirecting funds to border security, infrastructure, and debt reduction. Implement mandatory congressional approval for any military action with public referendums for prolonged engagements. Pro-free speech and anti-censorship. Repeal laws like the Patriot Act and FISA amendments that enable government surveillance. Protect online platforms from corporate censorship by enforcing antitrust laws against tech monopolies. Criminalize attempts to suppress speech on topics like foreign policy, history, or government criticism, including Holocaust revisionism or discussions of Zionist influence. Opposition to obligatory mRNA vaccines. Ban all mandates for mRNA vaccines or experimental gene therapies. We reject forced medical procedures and support individual medical freedom, holding pharmaceutical companies and government officials accountable for any harms caused by such vaccines. Anti-Palantir surveillance. Terminate all government contracts with Palantir and similar surveillance firms. Dismantle domestic spying programs, prohibit data mining on U.S. citizens without warrants, and impose strict limits on AI-driven monitoring to safeguard privacy. Ending the Federal Reserve. Abolish the Federal Reserve System and transition to a constitutional monetary policy backed by tangible assets like gold and silver. This will end fiat currency manipulation, reduce inflation, and restore economic power to the people. Investigating the Epstein files. Launch an independent special prosecutor to declassify and investigate all Epstein-related files, including client lists and cover-ups. Pursue arrests, prosecutions, and full accountability for all guilty parties involved in sex trafficking, blackmail, and elite corruption without immunity for the powerful. Immigration and border security. Impose a complete halt to all immigration for at least 5 years to allow for national reassessment and security upgrades. Secure borders to prevent exploitation by foreign interests, while deporting existing illegal entrants and reforming the system to prioritize American sovereignty. Economic policies. Implement tariffs on goods from nations engaged in human rights abuses or aggressive militarism. Promote energy independence through domestic sources, rejecting green agendas tied to globalist controls. Criminal justice reforms. End qualified immunity for officials involved in suppressing dissent. Decriminalize nonviolent speech-related offenses and protect whistleblowers exposing government corruption. Support family values by opposing cultural influences that promote division or foreign ideologies. Electoral and governance reforms. Campaign finance overhaul. Ban all foreign donations and cap individual contributions. To eliminate influence from wealthy lobbies. Term limits and ethics. Impose strict term limits on Congress and the judiciary. Mandate ethics training focused on identifying reform and avoiding foreign entanglements. Voter integrity. Ensures secure elections with paper ballots and audits while expanding access to independent candidates. Vision for America. The AZAP envisions a reborn America, peaceful, sovereign, and free from the chains of foreign wars and internal subversion. By cutting ties with Zionist priorities, ending elite control mechanisms, and embracing true patriotism, we will restore the Republic to its founding ideals. Join us in reclaiming our nation for the people.